Welcome back to Game Vault HQ. Today, we're diving into a classic adventure that holds a special place in the hearts of point-and-click fans. Broken Sword 3: The Sleeping Dragon. Let's find out if this installment still manages to captivate us, or if time has left it in the dust. Broken Sword 3: The Sleeping Dragon brings back George Stobbart and Nico, who once again find themselves caught up in a web of danger, conspiracy, and ancient secrets. This time, the story takes players across the globe in pursuit of an ancient artifact with unimaginable consequences if it falls into the wrong hands. The Sleeping Dragon pushes the narrative toward more action-oriented sequences compared to its predecessors, and this might be its most contentious point. The third game in the series switches things up by moving to a fully 3D environment, deviating from the classic 2D art style fans were accustomed to. The transition to 3D was a significant shift at the time, and part of a broader trend in adventure games during the early 2000s. The transition to 3D was a gamble by Revolution Software, and for the most part, it paid off. The art direction still manages to capture the charm and wit of the earlier games, while giving a fresh look that feels adventurous and vibrant. The environments, whether you're exploring Paris or some forgotten temple, are atmospheric and well-detailed, even if some areas may feel a little sparse by today's standards. One of the most significant changes was the introduction of direct control of the characters instead of the traditional point-and-click navigation. For many, this was a drastic change, but once you get used to it, it works decently well, albeit a bit clunky at times. The controls aren't perfect. Moving George or Nico around can occasionally feel awkward, particularly in tighter spaces, and the fixed camera angles can sometimes make navigation frustrating, which is a common complaint among players. That said, these quirks are more forgivable when you remind yourself of the era this game comes from. The puzzles are at the core of what makes Broken Sword 3 tick, and they remain engaging throughout. They range from deciphering symbols to moving crates around to gain access to unreachable places. While the reliance on crate puzzles was a point of criticism from many players, the overall puzzle variety ensures there's still plenty of engaging content to keep you hooked, especially for puzzle enthusiasts. Where the Sleeping Dragon truly shines is its storytelling. Revolution Software once again delivers a captivating narrative full of mystery, humor, and lovable characters. George and Nico's chemistry remains a highlight, and the script is full of witty lines that keep you smiling throughout the adventure. The supporting cast, while not as prominent, also adds depth and variety to the story, making the world feel more alive. The voice acting is also top-notch for its time, with Rolf Saxon bringing his trademark charm to George's character. Many fans consider Rolf Saxon's portrayal of George a key factor in the series' enduring appeal. The plot may border on the ridiculous at times, but that's part of the series' charm. It's a mix of historical intrigue and humor that makes the game feel unique. The pace of the game is well managed, with moments of high tension mixed with opportunities to explore and gather clues. The stakes feel real, and there's always a sense of adventure pushing you forward. The added QTE, QuickTime event, sequences are perhaps a mixed bag. While they do provide moments of adrenaline, they can sometimes feel a little out of place in what is otherwise a slower, more contemplative experience. QuickTime events were part of an attempt to modernize gameplay, reflecting trends in action-adventure games of that period, such as Shenmue and Resident Evil 4. Nevertheless, they don't detract too much from the overall experience, and they do serve to make certain scenes more exciting. Visually, for a game released in 2003, Broken Sword 3 holds up surprisingly well. The graphics engine used was renderware, which was quite common for games of that era and contributed to the 3D transition. The character models are charmingly expressive, and while the animations might look stiff by today's standards, they still convey the emotions and urgency of the situations effectively. The soundtrack deserves a special mention, as it captures the essence of the adventure with dramatic and sweeping compositions that elevate the game's most intense moments. The story remains the beating heart of the Sleeping Dragon, pulling you in with well-written dialogue and intriguing plot twists. The villainous plot surrounding the dragon power artifact feels suitably epic, even if it leans into cliches at times. It's the kind of narrative that doesn't try too hard to be realistic. Instead, it knows exactly how to entertain and keeps you invested in George and Nico's journey. Broken Sword 3 is not without its flaws, the control scheme and the overuse of crate puzzles being chief among them. But these are small bumps on an otherwise enjoyable ride. The game successfully modernizes the classic point-and-click formula without losing its identity, and that's no small feat. George and Nico are still the charismatic protagonists we know and love, and spending time with them feels familiar and comforting. Ultimately, Broken Sword 3: The Sleeping Dragon is a game that takes some risks, and while not all of them pay off, it's still a worthy sequel that fans of the series should definitely experience. Its blend of mystery, humor, and adventure makes it stand out even today, and it's easy to see why George and Nico's exploits continue to capture the imagination of players around the world. We give Broken Sword 3: The Sleeping Dragon a score of 7.5 out of 10. It's an adventure filled with charm, mystery, and just enough nostalgia to keep you hooked, despite its few shortcomings. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more game reviews, and let us know your thoughts on The Sleeping Dragon in the comments below. What are your favorite moments from Broken Sword 3? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.